Yes, it'll be out for the whole, every single one.
Usually it's the one with most little bars.
Is it?
CCFC staff Wi-Fi, celebration guests.
Try the celebration, yes, is that one, I don't know if that one needs a password.
Just going on the line, celebration guest line.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, do I have to log in? Because I have to log in.
Usually they
Do it with
will.
a password or?
The guest stuff, usually you just have to put
Yeah.
their email address or something, but it's not. Well, last week, month, I was double checked, so this time I'm like, be prepared.
Those are my options. Please do. I won't
Okay, it should work now. No. All right.
Did it let you log in, Deb?
I didn't, and she put in her password. All right. Okay, we don't know where Eugene is, do we? Did it say-
He's gonna be doing virtual, South by the
We did. Okay. All right, so are you all ready? It's 2:00. What about, Nathaniel, Nate? Is he?
I did not, I don't think he's gonna be in attendance today.
Oh, then I guess you all, are you all ready? Ready, right? It's show on the road. Okay. Here we go. Okay, today is Tuesday, June 10th, 2025, Special Events Committee meeting. It's 2:00 and we are in the CCFC meeting. It's quite comfortable in here, by the way. I thought it was going to be hot. So good job. Okay, at this time I'd like to call the meeting to order and to verify the quorum, we'll do a roll call starting with Amy.
I'm Amy Bernard.
Lori Moyer.
Sandy Gillespie. Deb Reed. Carly Allen.
Allison Switz.
Nick Beck. You said, oh, your name's not on yet.
Name's not.
And he may be joining us shortly. Okay, so we do have a quorum. So at this time, we'll go on to number 2, on comments. Any comments? Thank you for some of our guests. Anything, Melody?
No.
Marco, you have anything for us? You want to?
No, but we are very happy with how things are going. We need that.
Thank you, Marco. You're such a sweet person. We appreciate you being here too, and being our liaison. Okay, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the agenda. I think you might said you wanted to add something?
No, I didn't want to talk before you.
Okay, does anybody else have anything they would like to add to the agenda? No, okay, so I'll make a motion second.
Second.
All in favor? And opposed? Okay. So we're going to go on to action discussion items, starting with the approval of the May 20, 2025 Special Events Committee meeting minutes. May I make a motion?
I move that we accept the minutes.
I'll second. We did.
Or something.
We are, Luke, we are doing a motion and we have a second on the meeting minutes. Any comments, corrections, or things that you'd like to point out? Amy?
No.
Dory? I have just one thing on section, on A, selection of committee chair. Instead of chair for the committee year was, instead of voted, was nominated. Just so you change nominated to nominated versus voted, and then they voted. The group voted. Okay. I just want to ask a question. I know we'll probably get to this, but I just, on the Aloha Summer Luau, when we went through and we discussed it, it says there was a lot of mention of e-bikes and e-bikes throughout the event. And since this event is one of the most highly attended, the recommendation was to close the basketball court for this event. Was brought up as well. I can't remember why. Is that just to keep the?
To keep the kids out, essentially, that was why, to kind of limit the amount of usage on that stuff, but I do know, like, coming up, we want to utilize the basketball court a little bit, which we'll get to, in a little bit as well, but.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think is a good idea, and I wasn't exactly sure, I don't recall exactly if that was the reason or was another. But with what you're saying, I think that for us to keep that in mind going forward for other events too, if we have the same problem going on.
Right.
So, I just wanted to confirm that was it, and I think that is a good suggestion, so I just want to say. Okay, and I have nothing else. Sandy? Do you have anything?
No, I don't remember shortening the length. I know we talked about making sure the entertainment for the whole time, but are we shortening the parties?
Yeah, it was just brought up as an idea, maybe, just in case, so.
If we do the same
Yeah.
thing, because it's so hot. So we would move it from 6 to 9 to 7 to 9.
Okay, I don't remember.
It's going a little longer, maybe go to 9:30 even, but I
Well,
think
then
to
the
get,
music stops.
to get to dark.
I think people leave.
Yeah.
As soon as the entertainment's over, people
Yeah.
leave.
But I mean, if you contract with them to say do like 2 50-minute,
Right.
and then there's a break, and then you could go to 2.5 hours, but 3 hours seems extra long. 2 hours is a little short. If somebody comes like an hour late thinking that it's longer, so we just have to figure.
People still arriving as people walking out.
I know, and you have to remember that. That's a very good point.
I have to remember.
You have to remember something.
Well, why?
Pretty experienced.
Well, I think it's because too, some people were getting pizzas and the pizza guy was like way behind. Because they were like, I had to wait for this, so just something to think about, and that's why I don't think they were doing it on purpose, they didn't get food there.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Carla.
What?
If you pay attention. Anything on the minutes, any comments?
Well, I wasn't here for that last meeting, so.
Okay. All right, that's fine. But I mean, did you read anything in there? All good, all right.
From the well owner,
I'm
I've
sorry?
only gotten through some of it, so.
Okay. All right, then, all in we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
I abstained,
Okay.
because I wasn't here.
Okay, B, special event updates. I'm not sure what that is, it's Friday for us.
So just a reminder, Food Truck Friday this week is moved back to Lakeside Park from here until the end of the year. And then we do have a DJ that we already have 3 different DJs booked for June, July, as well as August. And we're going to be switching it up a little bit in the sense of not really creating that disconnect between the Great Lawn and the food trucks. So last time we mentioned trying it out and see if we can put the panels out on the basketball court to close the court for food truck and put the tables and chairs out there. Pat already knows to leave that space, so there's no truck in front of the actual lot as well, so it'll look like more of a consecutive event out there.
That's great.
The Motown, that is going to the June meeting for approval with the board, so we're still waiting on that for that signature. And then last but not least, I don't know if you guys saw a name up there popped up named Jennifer. We do have a brand new communications manager that just began with us. Her name is Jennifer. She is online. She's great, knows her stuff, so we're very excited to have her. So just keep that in mind that now we have somebody new coming in that's gonna kind of help out with those communication issues from previous. So moving on to, what is Founders Day. They're going to the board for approval, because it's for, you know,
Like, I can't remember.
yeah. Motown is for founders.
Okay, you can move right along.
So past events, all we have is Memorial Flag Ceremony. We had 189 attendees for that one. It was a warm day, but it went off very well. They do a great job every year, so we can't complain with that. And honestly, that was the only event that we had, because our next one was on Friday, for Food Truck Friday.
I should say that our chorus director was happy when he heard it was going to be the same sound people as the year before.
Yes, yes, we know that they're very familiar with it. And then thank you, Nikki, just reminding me, obviously, Gatorland just happened. Seems like it was a long time ago, but it wasn't. Yeah. We had 275 people in attendance for that one. It was very packed. We pulled out every single chair that we had. Gatorland brought a baby gator, a lizard, a turtle, and a snake
Always
out
gross.
there. So, we also had a nice little surprise with Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is Summer Breakout's presenting sponsor. So they came on site to actually sell breakfast it started out as just our campers, that's why it's not advertised. Then, once people started coming up to them, they decided to sell and continue selling from there.
Speaking of Jennifer. Patience manager.
You just wait. Saturday, they have you in the room across.
Yeah, they keep me in the closet. But yeah, we were saying that we're excited to work with you. And just so you hear about the committee and all the events coming up, so you can help showcase the events.
Absolutely. Yeah, very excited to do that with you guys.
I was gonna ask you about the, Gatorland. Again, it just amazes me how many people come out and it's 100 degrees. Is there any way we could do that inside sometime?
I know, I thought about that. The only problem is Heritage Hall is set up for camp, and it would not have even fit the 275 inside there anyways, and that's our biggest spot. So there's really.
I will have to say, I was in school while Gatorland was going on. You couldn't hear a pin drop. Like they were so, I mean, if there were 250 people there, you couldn't hear them.
No, I mean, it's always well attended and it's surprising because it's hot, it's in the middle of the day, but all these people come out and it's the demographics is little ones
Yeah.
to asking, I still think the best question was, do alligators eat Chick-fil-A sandwiches? I remember that we had seniors there. One lady she moved, but used to come over in her little wheelchair scooter. So, I mean, it does hit, I just feel so bad. It's so hot.
Yeah, and I think next year moving forward, we will tell them to bring a mic as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so.
that was what you would like to see.
Yeah.
He enunciated pretty well.
He said, I
He is small here. So, I mean, it was hard to hear, but, it's great information, but the lady last year did have one of those, so that would, I think, be helpful, but, I just wish there was a place we could do it inside. I think that one time we did, what was the one we did inside? But it was in the 851, and we had,
Was that the Coyote Education?
Yeah.
so that worked. So if by chance someday with the building, I
We could do
think,
it
it would
next
be,
year.
yeah.
Plan for next year.
Yeah, and then extend it a little bit so that, like, I know you were having problems with them leaving, having to leave early, just how long do you think that was, about after?
It was, they stayed for an extra like 5 minutes, which that's
No,
why.
no, I mean, how long do you think we need for them to come up?
Oh, I mean, really, they would have they got through everybody.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that to make sure that when they come, because I know he may have to go do another show or something.
Yeah.
To make sure that he has enough time, because for some reason that seemed to be a big deal to some of those people, under pressure, and you were very nice. And finally, everybody got to see.
Well, also they saw, the gator was starting to get like overheated, so they had to keep spraying down the gator. So once we explained like safety wise, that gator is about to like lose it, they understood.
The gator's now sitting in your arm like this, it's in your arm like this.
Yeah. And maybe we have like potentially like photographers, so it's like
That's a good idea.
the one and go kind of thing, because there are some people who are like, oh, can I take 5 pictures? Like, it's just like tap, tap, go, okay, next.
Yeah.
But
So
that's,
I think one was.
yeah, but it was, they love it.
Yeah.
I think that's one that you put on your list for next year for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It was done primarily because the camp was there, right?
Right, yeah, we always, because they're going to Gatorland on Friday, so we usually try to do it like that, since they don't really get to leave the family.
Which makes me think that we think it wasn't the camp at the Presbyterian, we think it might have been the Vacation Bible School, because I drove by and they had about 150 kids there. That if we know the date, to possibly figure out if they could, well, we don't know where the location is gonna be, but to bring them into this, I mean, that would be fun for them. So. All right,
Do we pay them for this?
We do, yes.
anybody else? Any other questions? Okay. All right, moving on. And I'll just, me and you, Trey, would you make, put the dates on it? Like I had to reach out to her and say, I can't find it. When is that?
Oh, you want, okay, yeah.
On the agenda. Just so when I go to reference it, I go, oh, yeah, I gotta make sure I put that on my calendar. And when I don't, I have a problem. I would have been able to tell my niece, no, you cannot have your wedding on Founder's Day.
Yes, I just do that.
Okay,
So Spooky Soiree is on October 24th.
thank you.
This one is what we've thrown out a few ideas together, but we never really, because you know how with Holiday Fest, we're like very gung-ho on, this is what we want with the ice and the snow. We didn't really come up with a theme for this year. We've spoken with a few different people regarding like ideas on a few things of like what can be brought out to enhance it and things like that. So, you know, we could do like the fog bubbles. We now know somebody that has like the Ghostbusters car that can come out and dress as a Ghostbuster. And so like, we just need to know the direction of what kind of you, in your heads, what you see Spooky Soiree turning into now.
Anybody?
Are we trying to get away from what we've been?
Or enhance it in some way, because usually they show up, there's a performer on stage, and a bunch of inflatables, sometimes vendors. So,
Didn't you have a band that you showed us?
yeah, so the M80s is still gonna be here, they're still gonna be performing.
Still have that.
Yes, they're signed, they're paid, they're good.
And what time are they gonna play from?
So they're doing the 6 to 9 timeframe, but they are doing a shorter set in the middle because they're gonna host the costume contest for us, so.
And they're very busy.
So they're 6 to 9.
Yeah.
Have we ever had like a theme? I know like, you know, when we did the father-daughter dance, Taylor Swift was really kind of got everybody together and made the girls, you know, dress a certain way. Would it be appropriate to maybe think about a theme for, you know?
I love that idea.
Like, I don't know, who's that crazy Halloween dude that it might be too scary for? Because I know too, you have to like be careful about not scaring little children. But I don't know, just a thought, I don't have an idea off the top of my head, but it might be.
Well, if we did, like you were saying, Allison, about the Ghostbusters, we did like ghost goblins and mystery or something. Like we have the Mystery Machine band, you know, for Scoop, like we could bring in, have Ghostbusters, have like different spooky type things, maybe a candy hearse, or, you know, I'm sure there's gotta be a lot of stuff in this area.
To piggyback off of that, X Factor Dance kind of wanted to be involved with the events. So we were gonna talk to the DJ that Allison knows that does, work with the nonprofit Ghostbusters group to bring in the hearse and whatnot. But Lindsay's group was gonna do like a dance or teach people how to do like Thriller, Time Warp, all that. And we were thinking about getting 2 face painters, so it's a monster bash. So like residents complimentary, they can get their face paint from 3 or 4 different options, go in the basketball court and it'd be like a little monster party. So at least it's an opportunity, if they don't want to see the band, that's more for like the adults per se, they can at least have a little bash on the basketball court.
Yeah, and just to give you a little bit of history on it, we haven't always had the Spooky Soiree as such. That's relatively.
Like 2 years.
It's pretty new, so,
Used to be Fall Fest.
and that was totally different than this, so. And then, so this is geared to, the other one was more geared, a little bit more to adults, this is geared to more kids and family. And so we did it more of a, because we did a carnival thing down by the boardwalk or something like that, remember, Melanie? Down by the boardwalk, and it was like a carnival type thing. And for some reason, people seem to love the carnival thing. Now, I will say that we have to be careful when when we initially turned this over 2 or 3 years ago, this spooky soiree, we had a lot of people reach out to us and not like the idea that we called it spooky. Because they were afraid that to hurt their children. So we have to be careful to keep that in mind, to come up with, it can't, somebody said this is a not so spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, oh, hi Nate. Hi. So not.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome. So.
Thank you.
We're on the spooky, the not so spooky story. So we certainly.
I have a couple ideas if you guys can hear me on it. You're super close to a dance party already. You have themed characters, you have a band, we have a dance floor area that we can make. So I just kind of wanted to highlight that we're really close to having, kind of a theme in and of itself with just kind of the structure of what we have there. I would say I love the idea of a theme for it as long as it isn't spooky. I'd like to kind of pair it that. But I think there's some fun, curious things we can do. I would recommend just being careful of licensing. You can tell somebody dress up like a character, but the moment we ask somebody to dress up like insert name of registered trademark, that's where we're breaking the line on that. So if people are dressing up what they want to as people that we're, not even contracting with, but working with, then you're fine in that regard. And as far as I agree, like a little Monster Mash Bash dance party sort of, kind of aesthetic is great too. Have little areas people can take pictures with, and, promote that. But I think just with the structure you have, it's very close to just being like not a concert, but a dance party. That's all.
So not so spooky dance party.
Working title, right? Yeah, something like that. That is like even Monster Mash. As long as we're not making it spooky, I agree with that because it really should be a family, fun, happy community event.
Correct.
I kind of like that Monster Mash Bash.
I like it.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, because monsters can be fun too, they don't have to be scary.
And I think the way that you communicate that too, like the voice that comes with it, like the flyers, for instance, the social posts, they don't have to,
Right.
it won't come across as this is gonna be a really scary event. So it'll come across as family friendly, so.
For sure. And if it's just got something that says that, that's all parents need to know. Okay, this isn't like Universal where they're doing something, everything's jumping out at.
Well, you could call it spooky soiree dance party.
Well, and we keep
And that
that
kind of
spooky soirees we're paying for every year.
Right.
And just change the theme every year,
Right.
which is what, people do at college events.
And as far as the Monster Bash dance thing, if you have it on a basketball court, I wouldn't even advertise that part, but what I would do is get a big sign there, and you have that music playing there, and then people coming out and having someone sort of teach them how someone dances. So it's something that is actually a surprise.
Right.
Which I think is fun. So as soon as somebody's, whether you use 2 aprons
Yeah.
there, or you have a big sign there that says, Monster Mash Dance Party. Because as soon as you get there, you're gonna see it's not scary. And
And
you
you're learning the Thriller dance. I was just on a cruise ship that they taught people to do it. And it's not easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of the steps from when I was young when that was happening, but these people were just, I was just saying, oh, boy.
maybe
It's a lot to remember.
maybe the girls can come up with a simple version.
Right.
The expected dance. And the good news about that is we're trying to incorporate our Kids Night Out event. We try to match it with the event. So if they attend Kids Night Out, they're gonna learn how to do the dances from X Factor. So when they get to this Spooky Soiree Monster Bash event, they'll know how to do the flash mob. So we're trying to incorporate 2 things.
But I would put Munch from Ashland Diamonds. We're gonna keep a spooky soiree dance.
Yeah, that's
And
fine,
then
spooky story dance.
that would be the surprise. The area, and then with the lights and whatever else we can come up with, strobe light, spinning, not strobe lights, you know, the
Yeah.
ball light type things, yeah. So, and again, the bubble people, the bubble, everybody loves that for, it doesn't matter what event it is, that bubble thing, see if he's free. But I mean, what do you think about, you know, do we have a few of the bounce houses? I mean, so we have a little bit of something, we have the bigger kids bounce houses, and if we can get on that, because we know.
It's good, it's already done.
How many do you have?
She hasn't sent me the full invoice yet, but I think it was already booked essentially. I'm just trying to choose different ones that we had from last year to make it a little different, but I think it's either 3 or 4.
That's great. And then different age groups.
Correct, yeah, something for
Did
everybody.
you get a maze or no maze? Okay, we might do a maze
No.
or something else.
Yeah, it's not the maze, but it's like a haunted house looking bounce slide thing. Yeah, but the maze that they have is only like, it's very fall themed, so it wouldn't have matched
Okay.
the rest of it.
All right, well, that's great that you have that stuff. Okay, so we have the music, we have the dance match, you have the bounce houses, we have the bubble man, bubble maker, are we gonna do no pumpkin patch thing?
No pumpkin patch.
I think that's good.
Yeah, no
Let's get all over that. Is it stilt walkers, face painters,
Yeah.
some of those stilt walkers are amazing.
Yes, we already got the face painters, we got through the same company, so they're gonna give us 2 of those. And then we're still talking with the person that has like the stilts and all that good stuff to have an atmosphere.
Because the people love those photo ops with them, and then what else? What about food trucks or?
Yeah, so we actually already have, well, now both of them are now booked. We were thinking of a way on how to at least get some sort of revenue from it, so we have 2 food trucks that are gonna be selling on site. One's gonna be a brand new one that hasn't been a part of any celebration event yet, it's a pizza truck. And then the other one is gonna be the stuffed surfer, which is like burgers and fries. So you have 2 very different food choices, and they'll be on site selling.
Can we, just know, I think about this one too. Okay, 2 things. Okay, one, I'm gonna go with the vendor thing first, like, so we have a tent, I think Debbie Jackson mentioned it, it was, checking with Kilman's about candy apples, selling candy apples. Did we want to do that, something like that for this event? It's fall, it's still, because they evidently make them really good. So that's playing off the other thing I was gonna say, is before we had the tents with the vendors last year, and some were, well, I don't know what they were, if it was real estate or whatever the, I don't know, but we had different tents that we gave them candy to hand out.
Yeah.
But we sort of said we weren't gonna do that. But my question is there, and does anybody have any thoughts on that? About having, I don't wanna call them vendors, we call them.
Yeah.
Not tent people.
Market, I think that's what we were trying to exclude this year. It seemed like it was too much foot traffic, it was a little bit too tight in between. So I think we either focus on the vendors or we focus more on the entertainment. Okay.
Or what you can also do is at all of the inflatables and whatnot, because they're gonna be manned by those people, we just post it as a volunteer shift and do the candy, have somebody separate with the candy.
That might be.
And it's almost like actual trick or treating in a sense.
Or, let me make it think. Or, what if you were to, and maybe even combine that, but what about the candy apple, candy corn? Is there a food truck that does something like that? It's like the dessert thing, but it's like for the sweet stuff,
So,
for the candy?
yes, I had somebody actually reach out and she has like a cotton candy business, which might be a good one for her to come into as well.
Maybe check with her first, and if she does do something like that, and
Yeah.
all candy corn or whatever she has, do that before we ask the other, but yet keep that in the back of our minds. Because it is something in fall that a lot of
Right, like fairs.
Right.
fair that lose.
you know, it has cotton candy, candy apples, it's all my fairs. The biggie always had a vendor that sold that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, do the food trucks pay a set amount, or do they pay a percentage of the?
They pay us a fixed rate to sell our food property.
And I gotta say, I hope that pizza truck is as good as the one we usually have, the wood burning one.
Yes, yeah. I did meet with them for an hour, and they showed me lot of stuff. So I have high hopes. I'm very excited to bring them here. They're very excited to come here.
Is that the new one?
Yeah, it's an Italian name that I'm gonna butcher if I try to say it, but that's the name of the truck. They have a huge following in Lake Nona. That's where they're actually stationed, is Lake Nona, and they were just interested to come to Celebration with it.
What day of the week is it?
Friday.
The Friday before Halloween?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, well, great ideas. Anybody else? Melanie or anything? No? Marco? Anybody here? Well, if you think of something, send it over to Allison and Nikki that if they could look it up. But I think this looks really good.
This gives a good direction, so.
I like the idea of the dance party thing. I like the, you know, we can make it, but we don't have to tell them. And then when they get there, they'll see it's a funner and, yeah. So I think trick or treat. We'll have tricks and treats for this.
We'll advertise it, that there's a costume judgment.
Yes.
You know, secret
Yes, yep.
If you come, there's a secret surprise.
Yeah, you can do that.
And then,
Do you want to do spooky story dance party, or just want to do spooky story and make everything a surprise?
And make everything a surprise?
I like everything.
Wait, what do you mean?
No, I mean, we're not gonna say it's a dance party, we're not gonna say it's
So I guess for advertisement then, how would you like us to?
Well, I would think like the tagline, we would want to say featuring a special monster mash or something like that.
Yeah.
Like saying it's a dance party, it's a flash mob, but.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wanna keep it light and.
Right, but we want them to feel prepared to.
Yeah. And you can say we're your favorite, whatever costume. We're, like Nate said, not to, put us into one, you have to dress up for the monster mash. You can dress up as a princess if you want, if that's your costume for the year.
Yeah.
You can say, but we are gonna have a costume contest, so we wanna make sure we,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We have that advertised so that people could, and we're gonna need lots of folks for that setup. And we can talk about that more, the logistics of that later, but I think it sounds good.
Like it.
Anybody?
All good.
Well, let's move on. Holiday Fest. Oh, when's it? I'm old, thank you.
It's not weird to move it to January.
The holidays?
I thought we were gonna make it winter,
It is so good.
but I thought we were gonna move it to January.
Is it Friday, December 5th? Is that right?
Friday, December 5th.
Rather than January.
I love
That's when winter is.
it. It makes me excited this little.
Yes.
Very visual.
So I'm very pleased to say we found the Igloo to bring to the bar. It is a company from Miami, and they were very reasonably priced. They're
Igloo.
the Igloo.
Okay.
I just attached some photos so you can see exactly what's gonna be on site. That's all winter snow themed. The Igloo is also coming with the furniture, the cubed furniture and everything. So we'll stick the bar underneath there, we can put that on the lawn.
Is it 2 or 1?
It's one Igloo. It's the same picture, just different, ones with all the furniture. Well, the bar is just supposed to be, and then they have the, like, picture. Oh, picture.
Okay, one more thing. So can we get 2, or we can only get, no, we can never.
Just afford the one.
The
they had that big one that you had seen, and they do not carry it anymore, so this is the only one that they had. We have quite a few different of the bounce house options, and we also have the snow globe now. So I did like a little mock-up of just kind of where I saw everything going. And then, as you can see at the end where it says new, we have been in contact again with the Florida Foam Factory. They do a lot more than just that foam. So he came on site to do a walk with us as well to see how we can transform this event. We're hoping to turn the very end roundabout and continue the event all the way down. We have so many inflatables. So we were gonna make kind of like a little inflatable pack area. And then the DJ would be down there. They'd control the snow, so we would be doing snow moments down at the roundabout. And we were hoping to find a snow sponsor, which is in the works right now, that would assist with pretty much being the presenting sponsor of the first ever snow zone, where they would also be able to control the very first snow moment ever happening. So, at Lakeside, yes. So again, we have Slay, which is that acapella group, but now instead of doing the strolling, they're on stage with all the lights and the music that they're bringing, so it's gonna be more of a show versus the strolling carolers that I know that we had a while ago. So yeah, and then.
Okay, sorry.
The hot chocolate, what's her name, Jess's lemonade that we were talking about on the last one, she said she is good and she can actually do this one, so she'll be there doing like hot chocolate, and she also said if we wanted to, we can also offer a non-alcoholic cojito, whatever I don't know, it's not.
She does mocktails, so if you're here Friday, for Food Truck Friday, highly recommend, I know Sandy, you'll be there. I love it, she'll be there, and she makes the best mocktails. So, like at the last food truck she had here, she did, mojito mocktails. So there's kids running around that look like mojitos, but I think it would be a perfect event for her to attend, So if you guys stop by, feel free to stop by her booth so you can see what it looks like visually. But we really think it would be a great fit for Holiday Fest.
She can't do,
Yes.
sorry, she doesn't do alcohol versions too.
No.
Just non-alcohol.
Just not.
Okay, I just have a couple questions because I'm a little confused. So, what's this? This is the circle, right, down here.
Down at the end.
So, do you want us to start at the beginning and then just kind of
Well,
work
I was
our way?
just wondering. Oh, yeah, please.
Okay, so, let me zoom in. So here's that check-in point, kind of Deb and Sandy that you all saw at like the Aloha this summer, that we have like that one check-in point coming in. We'll have a sign out there that says no bikes. And we'll make sure that we have the appropriate staff out there to assist right here.
The atmosphere, so like stilt walkers, there's some light up roller skaters.
That would be a good place.
Yeah.
That would be a good place to involve the guy too.
So I think if we show you like a picture, do you have a video? What's even sent? Just so you can see what it looks like, I think it would be a distraction and a block off the street. Just speaking with a gentleman for.
Would block the street for sure.
Yeah, he said it could go up to 6 to 12 feet. So I just don't want to distract it here when we're trying to make a magical moment in the back.
What's that? That's a still walker?
Yeah.
This is like just an entertainment.
Or is that Sandy?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do over here as well is to kind of put, like maybe a photo opportunity over here. I know at the last event, we kind of had it blank here, we had the jump ropes, and it was kind of like a dead zone here. So we would want to make sure there's some kind of entertainment here, so it's not like an awkward 15, 20-foot gap of nothing.
I'm like photos of the phone.
No, okay, sorry. So I'll say if you want to.
Is that snow globe thing going to be facing towards the street?
I was gonna, I mean, how it faces.
I would
is
face
totally up
towards
to
the
you.
street because if that will help start breaking the thing.
Plus, I'm sure there's gonna be a line.
Yep, so we can have it pointed that way, that's not a problem. Just so people could see it from the street, like I said. And then the break line.
And then the Great Lawn is gonna have the igloo bar as well as the cubes with the seating and
Okay,
everything.
that's another thing I'm asking, on that igloo, that igloo doesn't look real tall. So you said you're gonna put the bar in there?
Just the bar, like, people don't go in and sit inside of it. It's just the bar, it's a walk-in, and then the seating will surround it.
Yeah, yeah, but doesn't it look like it's,
Well, because the bartenders are in there.
Yeah.
That's right.
we have to get short. But I think it's really.
It is cool.
Now, the sleigh performers, are they gonna, how often do they sing?
Let me
They're
check.
kind of like they sing and then they, it's not a constant show.
Right, so we're going in between. We're thinking of bringing back free daps, which they've already confirmed that they do have that availability, so I'm just kind of waiting for
The
that
what?
to respond. Free dap, well, they were the gift wrappers. Last year, that really attracted the teens.
They're on the
Bounce
bounce
basketball court and doing back-to-backs, because they're just doing 30-minute sets, if I'm not mistaken.
Do the sleigh performers?
Yeah, so the free dabs were the ones where the teenagers, it got more attraction for the teenagers on the basketball
So
court.
you're gonna alternate?
That's the goal, yeah.
So they're doing 30-minute sets, and then free daps will do
Okay,
their
so,
30
so,
minutes.
I love that, where that's going. My question would be, so you're gonna have the igloo guy, and then, or forgive me. The igloo, okay, so this is like our great lawn here. Okay, so, we're gonna put it sort of like to the middle towards the back, so can we have tables up here?
Yeah, we're gonna use our tables as well to have that option in case somebody needs a back to their seat or anything like
Because
that.
I think if people are gonna come in there, buy, drink, and sit,
Mhm.
or they won't come in, or if they're having entertainment, for them to be a little bit, I think this is gonna be a draw to get people in, we'll have to figure out some lighting and stuff. But, then in front, between the igloo and the stage, that's what I'm getting.
So visualization, so we'll probably have an igloo over here on the right hand side. And we would have the tables out here, kind of like we normally do. Around the Great Lawn, what we would love to do is kind of make it look like an winter Iceland. So it's just a lot of ice, like white lights, so it matches those ice cube seats. So that's kind of our goal for this area, is to have a lot of lights in the bushes, the trees, and potentially on the round tables.
They're also bringing a few high top light up cube tables
So
as
those
well.
foam people can't come in and spray the foam on the grass?
Well, no, because it's like, it'll go away.
Oh, it doesn't stay?
Like it does, but the amount of people that are gonna be walking through
Money slush.
So to be totally honest with you, Allison and I, when we met with the gentleman for the snow, we first talked about the Great
Snow or
Lawn.
Snow.
Snow.
No.
I know the name of the company throws it off and makes it confusing.
But they're foam.
They're specializing in foam parties, however, they have all of these other options of like snow machines, and, oh yeah, stilt walkers, they have a plethora of people.
Okay, so can you?
So we were potentially thinking about putting this on the Great Lawn itself. First off, the first thing we thought about was, okay, food, and people would be upset if I had a drink and I had snow and stuff getting in my drink. Cause it would look like a blizzard out here. We thought, oh, that's a great idea, but the problem is, every year, it always ends right here. And I wanna be able to showcase all of Lakeside Park. It's just kind of upsetting to just see it end here, so we thought, what if we put them all the way in the back to get more people to get back here? And behind them, we can have inflatables, so it is literally like a snow
Zone.
yeah.
Okay, and
We
which,
have to put somebody back there before.
right, this would draw people.
But if there's, you're saying you're putting bounces?
The bounce, like that skier, I know, the skier represented this skiing inflatable. So they'll get lined all the way back, and then we're also utilizing obviously that winter maze on the court, And then the food trucks are gonna go back there too, along with the like hot chocolate. Unless you wanna put them on the lawn with the bar.
I personally, one, we had them back there and they weren't real happy because the bubbles were going into their trucks and so on and so forth. But I was thinking that if we wouldn't it make more sense to have them, again, we're bouncing on this all over the place because you just don't know until something clicks. But to have the food trucks closer to where we're gonna have the tables and chairs, because otherwise they're gonna be standing there. I mean, I know we could put a few laptops, but if you get 800 some people, 800 to 1,000 people, I mean, it's just, should we put them back there? I love the idea of the foam people and the bounce things and all that, because you're right, it's gonna pull them back there. People are gonna go back there. People are gonna be walking out with foam all over and they're going, where's that?
Well, so is it foam snow or snow snow?
It's not snow, but it's like think of it as snow. It's a little bit of a top tier of snow.
I'm just like, are they gonna be able to make snowballs and throw them?
No.
But you're right, Nikki, like you said, this is gonna pull them back. My question is, now, for example, if we had perhaps like a cookie truck with the hot chocolate thing, but I sort of like the idea with the drinks and the food in one area where they could sit down.
Maybe you could do a mixture, like for us, like we've already inquired, just for like our ice cream shop to do this particular event, and like we would be happy to be over there in the kids zone. We're ice cream, we're portable, we're not necessarily an adult. I mean, adults obviously eat lots of ice cream. That would make sense. You could
More the
set
snacks in the back.
yeah, maybe more the snacks in the back. But that would be ideal for us because we're used to the kids, the bouncy areas, that kind of thing.
Right,
So
now that's what I'm saying.
we would be fine with
So if you had ice cream, snow cones, whatever back there with the foam, snow soup, whatever it is.
I mean, I just think, so Main Street used to have so much soap on it that kids could lay and make, snow angels. Now it doesn't even cover the street.
Yeah.
If we're gonna have that much, the kids are gonna run.
Right.
They're gonna be making snow angels on the ground, people are gonna have to bring their kids home and foam them up in the tub. I think that would draw them if it's enough.
Right, and I think that, as Amy said, to have a dessert truck back there, like ice cream, snow cones, whatever you're gonna have, that makes sense there. And then bring the food trucks back. Now, Nikki, you're saying we have that dead zone there. Maybe that's where we could have 2 food trucks there, so they can grab their food, go onto the main lawn, or they can just carry it down the street. And then by the time they get done where the soap is, they can get an ice cream and dinner's over.
What is our status for lighting on Lake Lawn? We still use it?
Yeah, it's on hold right now. I'm still discussing it with them.
So we still just have the one set of string lights?
For right now. Hopefully not by December, but
Yeah,
for right now.
just what they were providing us is not what we want to execute for the committee yet, so.
That, I think that has a theme and it has a flow, you know? And then they finish down there and then they come back and then they can go to the Great Lawn and they can have we're gonna have a bar there. The bar there, a drink. The kids could have hot chocolate, they could sit, enjoy some more music and the production that's going on, and then wander home, and it just sounds like a perfect evening. I love it.
Would you put the cocoa truck near the bar?
So, well, they don't know, she doesn't know if she's gonna have her actual truck for this, or if she has to do a setup like she did for Father
I
Daughter.
love what she did for
Yeah. So she's not sure yet. She said she's looking at
Some sort of, you said an on, but even like a winter cocktail, I don't know what that would be.
That would be up to, if we go with Premier would have to supply that because she can't do that.
Okay, so even,
But yeah, they can come up with some sort of
Yeah.
cocktail.
even if it's a cocktail, but I think that, I like the flow seems to go with the seating and I I like it now I understand it, and it seems really great.
I have a question.
Mark, are you ready to go? Mark, our small.
I like first of all, terrific job, Alison and me, very well presented, easy to see, great job. The only suggestion that I do is to move the DJ from close to the bar. Leave the DJ far from the Mirasol area, bring him to the bar. It's not a suggestion.
But what about
No,
the
they're-
meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Full time, would be full time DJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what about even maybe bringing them halfway down to where the skier is, somewhere like that?
We were just trying to expand it to the sense where we would put stuff down there where people are gonna be drawn to it. Like, you'll see those inflatables from down the road and be like, what's over there, to make them more like.
Where the DJ that he's talking about, is there a DJ down there?
Yes.
Down at the end, yes, it would be seated.
No.
Kids can dance in the snow. I like
Right, and he has to control the snow.
So these
right,
are- So down there on the circle, you're gonna have, this is gonna be where the skier is.
That's what it's.
Correct. Okay, and then these are ordered or?
Those are ordered, those are,
Ordered?
yeah, all of this in this page is ordered.
Okay, and then this is going on the basketball.
The maze, yeah.
Perfect.
And I have a question, we're allowed to show Christmas, because I know there's some sensitivity.
Yeah, we had that one already solidified prior.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else have any thoughts on anything?
And I think those are good ideas to have kind of the desserts down there, easier to carry around.
And just to back up, where you have what's that yellow thing say, that?
But the snow globe put off?
Yeah, right, okay, yeah, so where you have the arrow is like the entrance into the park, right there? Okay, what I was gonna say is somehow, first of all, I was thinking straight back to put the globe, this, igloo. But if we have tables in front, not so much. So is there, and this is just tweaking. So when you're walking in, I would love to see, when I'm walking in from here, I would love to see that with no obstructions, no table, no anything, okay? So when you come in here, it's like boom, and then, and not put too much here. Again, it's all strategic. But then over here, put all the tables, so the tables can come back, almost like a circle, but to keep this area kind of clear, you know what I'm saying?
So in order to see it from like the pathway, we would have to move it more so on like the right-hand side. Like, right.
Yes.
What's the snow globe photo op? Is that?
No,
That's that, and people can go inside it and go.
That makes you be able to see that as they.
Yeah, that's right, so when you come in, where Nikki was saying the dead zone, you see, boom,
Mhm.
then you go a little further where the walkway is, and you look into the park and go, boom, we gotta go, yeah, what's going on, you know what I mean? So but my point is have great visibility for everything, because that's what draws you into because otherwise, people might just walk by if they don't see that, but if they see that, they're like, oh, we gotta go check that out, that's a good picture. And then you find, it says, Valerie Park.
And this is residents only, right?
This is residents only.
I think it sounds fantastic, and I just wonder if anybody else has any other thoughts.
Do we have a date on this?
December 5th.
December 5th, it's a Friday.
See?
6 to 9.
I know. I will, from here on out, start putting the dates on the agenda.
If there's no, I guess, I think we should make it really more. Okay, so if there's no further objections with anything else, Allison and I should continue to move forward, with the snow company, as well as a DJ. But I think everything else is kind of set in stone.
Yeah, everything else is already purchased.
It's the best.
That's for next, that's our alcohol concern.
Oh, right.
Okay, everybody, anybody have something that's just saying, I just gotta say this, I just gotta say this? Two DJs. Okay, sounds good. So let's move on to another busy time, is the holiday concert entertainment review on,
So I found 3 additionals.
What's the date?
Oh, for, December 18th, it's a Thursday.
okay. Proceed.
All right, so one of the options, I did look more into what you brought, Dory, was the Bioelectric. So Bioelectric, for their, it sounded like in their email, and I even included this in this packet for you to look at, it sounds like they are very desperate to perform here. They really want to. No, it's a good thing.
Desperate to scare.
Yeah.
So-
I say desperate.
If you notice underneath it, it says that they want to work with our budget, so if they needed to cut the price at all and then be as like an in-kind sponsor, they'd be willing to do that. So put it all in here for the full 7-piece band, which includes one tech, it's $9,200. But if they want the front of house speakers, which is essentially, if this is at Lakeside, that's not really necessary for us. So $9,200 is their base. However, again, just keep in mind, if we want to say, hey, we really, like as a committee, would rather not go above a certain number, I can go back to them and say, hey, this is the number, would you be willing to do it?
What's the total band? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It's for 7 plus 1 tech.
And that's, I thought they were bigger than that, but no.
No, that's the biggest that they have.
Do you have a sample that you could play in them by chance?
Yes, she
I
does.
do.
And, if you want to look it up, she did send it, it's on that one thing. I'll just throw this out. First of all, do not feel, just because we threw it out there, before she plays it. Don't, because even though I read that they played worldwide, they played, actually last weekend, they had some of their, players at Dr. Phillips Performing Arts playing some sort of band there, and that everybody that sees them, that you read about it, says, oh, I hope they come back next year. This is why we don't. I'm just not sure. So,
We got burned last year.
They seem to be loved and adored. It's just not, I'm not sure it's the boom we want. Let me put it that way.
Are they just instrumental?
Yes,
They're
which
just,
is.
they're the only, they're the only wireless, yeah, they do play trans. They do, they're the only instrumental, acoustic type of whatever. But I'm just not sure, because of what Carla just said, is boom enough that we need to boom a bigger boom than last year. So not to say that they could perform anytime, it's not just Christmas. Right. So with that said, take it away.
Can we get Lindsay's early? If you want.
She's a little pretty penny. So that's the gist.
So let me ask you this, is that a possibility we could use them for a concert in the park? Would that price range be okay? If we did a concert in the park?
Let me check.
Because that might fit us better.
More like an adult type of.
Right.
Like we did with, what was it, she was really good.
Yeah, the one.
Yes,
They were
Rachel and the other kid.
Yeah.
She was very good.
These people it has to be in the dark because their outfits all light up and their instruments light up and, so, I mean, evidently people really, they're very, they're, one or two of them have nominated Grammys.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was gonna say, it's definitely for a specific audience.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially in
I think they're good.
Kids are gonna be bored. It is, but
Yeah.
it's, like, that's, what's the vibe we're trying to do with the holiday concert? Is it, you know, like popular holiday music for the whole family? Is it adult only listening to just instrumentals?
So with that said, so let's put that in the back of our minds and take it away on the next one.
Okay.
Because I think that,
We can go to the Noir Productions.
I would expect to hear Christmas music at the holidays.
oh, they play,
Oh yeah, they have, well, that's just their promo for this year. I'm sure later on in the video they have Christmas music.
No, it's just every year we say we want Christmas
We don't
and we don't get it. So someday we'll really get what we asked for.
We're getting there.
Just waiting.
So Noir Productions, this actually is the same group that is performing at Epic Universe on their big dome stage. They have an up to 13-piece band that includes dancers, singers, and the musicians. It's more of a production value versus just the instruments and whatnot. They do have backline instruments, the upgraded sound, so they could come with everything. So if we wanted this to be more on the larger scale, the 13 pieces would cost 15 grand, which is in our budget. Yes, but the further down we go, obviously, it's like 2 grand cheaper in a sense. Versus, let's see if I can pull, did you guys watch that one?
I did.
That's okay.
well, yeah, it'll be better in hearing with the lights and whatever. But then on that other group too, just like I said, for a possible concert in the park, they played for the city of Winter Garden, this past year. They played in in Lake Eola in the amphitheater down there. And again, they played some things in Dr. Phillips. So evidently they're very, very well liked. So again, I think for, as not many of you said, it's a specific group. Whereas this again has more holiday stuff. And this is also a learning experience.
This is what I've been looking for.
I think it's a cooler element to bring in like dancers. I don't know if I remember ever getting that element for the holiday concert. And I just love, like, that just looks beautiful.
I would love to we get the A team.
And everybody knows that, right, Carter?
Yeah.
Right, well, you know, this is a holiday.
Yeah.
I wanna know, B, do we get that big?
I mean, they're not,
I know, right?
they're not gonna slip in the non-holiday stuff like we've been getting.
Right.
With this one, they're not gonna get that, because right? Almost not.
I mean, do you care if they play not all Christmas, or do you want?
Everybody I'm always with, they're going to a holiday concert, they wanna hear holiday music. Like the guy we had, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, he came out, the first song he sang was Valare. I felt like I was on a cruise ship in the lounge. He sang one Christmas song. He was very good, but I was like, Valare? You're like, that would be
But not for a holiday.
Okay, so A, I would like to know, the A team, I mean, that's really important.
Mhm.
That's this group,
Right.
these entertainers that we're seeing. And you said how many people are in there? Because it looks like
13.
1, 2, 3, yeah, that's about right, 13. And, because there's three musicians over here. There's a guitar player, and there's the drummer, and somebody, a keyboard
And I
out
think the
here.
singers.
And then there's five singers and dancers,
Yeah.
so that's what we,
That,
that's,
yep.
I would like to know, do they bring that backdrop?
I can ask, but I don't know.
Or is that universal?
Or do we have to, do we have to climb up there and make that happen?
Let me find out.
Yeah, that's a good.
Because I will say with that, I mean, really 15 for it's turnkey, so everything would be included in that 15 grand. We have some room to be able to
We don't have to
enhance
pay
it.
for insurance and.
No, they come along.
And also, this is really important, I mean, personally, it's just like having the food trucks up here sometimes. I mean, we loved it out there, and it's okay, but isn't there something about having it at Lakeside acoustic, and we don't have to pay for the
Right.
stage?
Yeah, but
Can
they draw
they, is
bigger.
our stage big enough? If we did it at Lakeside, if we did it at Lakeside, is our stage big enough for them?
I don't know, I see them here.
I know.
I see them there too,
Yeah.
because if you promote, there's dancers and stuff, if you sell tables in, you'll get more people to buy the tables to see the dancers.
And then I would try to somehow get this out on video for people to say, I want to go to that, you know, I don't know how to do that. But, because we don't have anything location wise, but, yeah, I would find all those things out, but.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do an either or, but I guess we have to zero in on if everybody wants to vote in favor of moving, having you guys move a few more. right?
Yeah, I just have one, I have a third option, I'll always bring 3 to you.
I don't know.
Yes, so Entertainment Central was the last option. They had a few different options, but I will say, I know that the last one on the list, the O-Town Motown, I would nix that since we're already doing Motown for counters. I would say let's not do that, but there are 2 here. And that Atlantic City Boys has your favorite man in it, the Michael Bublé guy, so. Yeah. Let me, send this to
Very
you.
good.
So there's 2 different, one is more of a holiday, Hollywood throwback type of a show, and then the Atlantic City Boys is more like the Jersey Boys, I would say, but.
And that's the Buble guy.
Aren't we going for Founder's Day of Jersey Boy type thing?
Right, that's why I was saying for this, yeah. Right, so that's why I was saying for this one specifically, I only gave you all the options that they have for Christmas, but me personally, I'm gonna mix that last one since we already have it for. Everybody loves those horn sections, you know, if they added an upgrade for the horns. You just have to click on each one individually. I will say the Atlantic City Boys Holiday Show, they performed on the CW.
Atlantic City Boys.
Yeah. This is a lot smaller of scale than a show. So this one I can see at Lakeside. The other one is more of a production of a show. So I wanted to give you a few different options to
That's
pick
what the Buble guy.
that was, yeah. Yeah, you can do the home on list. So they go back to like the White Christmas and the typical old school Christmas songs, and they just kind of switch out and do all their different segments. So.
Is the,
I love that.
Carla is.
are they local, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, so we don't have to pay for room.
No, room board.
Well, I think, does anybody else have any thoughts on it?
I think we need to swing for the fences this year because
Yeah,
last year we got burned.
Now,
They like the dancers, because it reminds me of the Rockettes being in
Yeah.
the area, so.
All right, did you want to say something? Margo, did you have something you wanted to say? It's not like we did. No?
Next time.
Sandy?
I agree, I think we should go big on this one. It sounds like we're redeeming from last year's year. I haven't heard from you on this, I think we need to do the big show.
I think maybe after this one, go to one of these.
Yeah.
But next year,
well, don't forget, yeah.
we're trying to, you know, make up from the debacle of last year that we got.
Yeah, we're
So, Bill Goods.
I think it was perfect. I think you brought us some really hard choices though.
Yes.
But that one was just, has the perfect feel.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay,
So what I could do, I will go back and find out those for you, and then I will let you know if they say whether Lakeside is big enough or not. The good thing is, even if they say, hey, that's not big enough, and we go with Out Here again, we've got the money to be able to do that stage again.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I think acoustic wise, I would like it to be down there because I think it's,
yeah.
because here it is kind of, I mean, then we have to get extra door.
What about the parkwood?
Yes.
Let's do it in town for
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Too much parking issues.
Yeah.
People can't get there.
Yeah.
You can't.
This is, I think, too big to be there.
No, yeah, I think that might be true. I didn't think about that.
That's the thing for this one too, is if we work with access with the stage and this all together, it's still way under budget from what we have. We could potentially enhance Holiday Fest with the other amount of money or enhance it.
Does, Access have, do they, I mean, okay, we'll find out if they have that stage prop stuff, but if not, does Access have that? I mean, when they do, can they provide, we need more lighting there, we need that wow factor, because it's gonna, if you were to take that away, and just have them, it's good, but I mean, that's part of a wow factor, and it's beyond what we physically as a group can do.
Yeah, this whole thing right here has a move,
Yeah.
and we want that to move. We don't want spotlights, we don't,
That's
Yeah.
right.
we want.
Visually, I can totally see it. Honestly, either one, the parking is just gonna be the
No,
worst
that's,
nightmare,
that's true.
but to answer your question, yes, so Axis they can do at least staging wise, so if we wanted something on the back of the stage or the scrims on the side. But he also does have vendors that he knows and has worked with, where if we're like, hey, do you have like a company that has done stage sets before, because we wanna enhance it, I guarantee you, he knows somebody.
Even the red velvet
Yeah.
curtain, I mean, our logo's nice for certain events, but it would be really nice to have sparkle red on the.
Okay, I think we need trees.
Yes, I agree with the trees.
You're in charge of that.
We need 14 decorated.
Gold, red,
They'll get a couple weeks.
All right,
I
do
mean,
you
I
want
can even see it with doing like, having a red carpet moment at something like this for residents to take photos with, like I can see it.
That's a great idea.
And make it more of a, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
People like to take their pictures.
yeah.
You know, give them a spot to take,
do you-
have a separate.
In order to, you ask them questions, it's gonna be a month before we, gather again. Do you want us to make a motion to vote in favor of, this group pending further investigation? Because if they say yes, you need to book them, because otherwise.
Oh, yeah. This holiday stuff it's going.
If you vote and make a motion in second, Allison and I can work on getting this on the board packet, and then we can further discuss if it doesn't fit at Lakeside, we'll have it here. So
What's the
the
date
vote
again? What is that date again, and what
December
day?
18th. Thursday, December 18th.
What is that?
A Thursday.
That's, okay, that's better than I think.
We always
it was
do.
Tuesday, or.
Yeah, I think there was a few years I was on Tuesdays, but what kind of helps as well, when groups are booked, there's a lot of the time where they'll see, okay, we're already gonna be in this part of town, so we cut them a bit of a deal because we can double book ourselves somewhere else. So that's another reason why I think we moved it to the Thursday, to try to see if there was an option to do that as well.
Thursday, the what?
The 18th.
All
I
right,
really like the, okay, I motion to book, Norm.
second, all in favor? Opposed? Nate, were you still there?
I was an I. Yes, I am. I'm an I.
You were not. Do you have any other comments? We like to follow up with you at the end.
Sure. No, I don't have any extra comments. I think everything's great.
But do you agree with most everything we talked about as far as stage production and all that?
100%. I promise you I'd chime in. I'm in lovely, beautiful Bergen, Norway today. But if there's anything that came up and I needed to flag us or but
Okay.
sounds great.
All right, perfect, thank you.
And I have a minor suggestion that doesn't have to be worked about yet. It's a very long walk from the park to the ceiling. And you could probably use people with their nets to just provide transportation for those who need it. It's a heck of a walk. I mean, obviously I'm a walker, so I have no problem with it, but I have a husband who's not a walker.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is that an
I was just about to say, because that's why we weren't really able to do it with our stuff either, because it's a liability.
Even if people are insured.
Well, it's because it would be like our vehicle, so it would fall under our
No, I'm
insurance.
thinking people use their vehicles that are already.
So my only concern is that it's only a one-way road and you have to turn around.
Right.
And I don't want people to go down that hill. I've done it before. Marco probably has too. It's hard to get back up. Because it kind of goes sideways on the sidewalk here. What we could probably look into is, so there's a sidewalk and there's a grass, like fields. Maybe we could fence it so if you're walking, you walk on the part of the grass and that leaves it open to go up and down. If we get permission, if it's even allowed, We can look into it. Thanks, Lauren. Okay, so long story short, we'll look into it, we'll look into this, yeah.
I mean, what if we didn't, what if we hired, like they have downtown Orlando, those bicyclers, those bicycle people, I mean, I mean,
yeah.
we need a trolley to take insurance.
I have it on my list, so we'll, yeah.
Okay, anything else anybody has? We'll move on to, the 2026 anniversary events update.
We're gonna keep this on the agenda from here on out, just in case there are any updates or anything that we wanna discuss as a committee. If you're like, hey, I have this really cool idea, maybe we can incorporate it some way for 2026. But we are in the beginning stages still. We're working currently on a 30th anniversary logo, as well as figuring out the ins and outs of kind of our 30-30 event series. We're hoping to debut all of the 30-30 information this Founders Day, including the logo and some of the merch to go along with it.
I'm a little concerned with the idea of 30 events, meaning, are we gonna water it down or fit in 30 different events or can we?
So it doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna put on 30 additional events on top of our 30. What it kind of means is how can we partner? Maybe just so to say, Lexington, they said, oh, we can put up a tent during their Oktoberfest or whatnot. That would count. Whether it's us just standing there doing games or a craft with a kid, that would still count towards the 30-30 series. How we can improve some of our events, so like Puffs and Pints, for instance, we want to put some new elements into it that we've never done before, that would still include and be a part of that 30-30 series. So we're not going to kill ourselves by doing this, but it's to really just enhance everything and make it kind of 10 times better and bigger than the residents have seen. We want them to attend every single one, plus all of Lexington's, plus all of the foundations, plus everybody. So as a whole, we'll combine and all kind of make a 30.
I know what will help for me is maybe seeing a calendar for the year, and then we can kind of put flags up about which ones are included and which ones aren't. I'm just a visual.
Because I don't want you guys to burn yourselves out.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe like, for example, I mean, if we have something like what you're going like for the alligator thing, maybe you put a tag under the seat. If they have the number, they get a pin for the 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Not something that's gonna cost them. Not something that's gonna take up a tremendous amount of anybody's time, because your time is very valuable, and you guys are really, you know, everybody, even us, for us to try to hit that many, that's tough, you know? And so to keep that, and mainly is the cost, time and cost.
Right, yeah.
Time.
But yeah, that was a perfect example. That's exactly what we're going for, to make it effortless, I don't want to say, but yeah. Something small but impactful, and us as well to like give back in a way, like partnering with the marathon and just having our 30th logo cooling towers, whatever it may be. So those ideas are just kind of being touched on right now, but
Even making up a nice, when you get your logos and all that kind of stuff, because people, you know, t-shirts or whatever, if you have, like baskets and like certain events, you when they check in, they get a raffle ticket to see who's gonna win the basket with the logo items for the 30th anniversary. A lot of people would like that, but that could be one of them.
yeah, absolutely.
Is your intention to want as many people as they can to go to all the events of the 30th anniversary year type of thing? Why don't you offer like they do you don't necessarily have to attend everything, but if you do, like you do where you get stamps at all the events, you punch it to whatever, and then whoever ends up, if it's a tie, you draw for whoever you get. That's
Like the way you're talking about
Yeah,
passport.
especially.
We we've been talking about a passport, so if you attend all 30 events, or if you attend 30, you get a limited edition item that you can only have.
It gives that incentive for residents to come to every single
And you
event.
don't have to go overboard for it,
Right.
it would be like, look, I did this cool thing if I attend these.
Like a special pin even.
Yeah.
You can make up cards and then have stickers for that event or punch thing that's, like they do in restaurants.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good idea, Melanie.
But we're also working with just an update on a vendor who is gonna be an in-kind sponsor and provide us with a new party trailer. And they're donating a brand new party trailer to Celebration. I just don't wanna say the name just yet, because I think we're gonna try to put it in the magazine once it's all set, ready to go. But next year, we're gonna try to bring the party trailer back, so if you've
What's a
been
party
here.
trailer?
I was gonna say, if you've been here since the 30 years, there used to be a thing very back in the day with Celebration that was called the party trailer, where they would drop off a trailer, like at like a Mew or whatnot, and your neighbors could have a party where there's tables, chairs inside that trailer. So it's kind of to gather your residents in your neighborhood together. So we're gonna try to do 30 of those. We'll see how it goes.
30 trailer?
Not 30, no, not
30 stops on the trip.
no, like 30 different, like,
Right.
residents can rent that trailer,
That's good.
so,
Okay.
so, yeah.
All right, so, so I did bring that one thing, the bounce house. Can that, so she's saying, can she downsize that a little bit?
No, she's very specific. She said the fields are too small.
I can't believe.
But another kicker would have been, so essentially she was saying she would pay us the rental fee to use the field, but we would have to allow the public in and residents, but both would have to be charged.
No, that's, it's 25, I think it's 25 for kids, 35 for adults. And it just amazes me that those two fields are not big enough for the world's largest bounce house. It is
Plus 500 parking spots.
plus 500 parking. We could probably make that work, but it's the, because we could also do a shuttle too. But, yeah, it is open, it has to be open to the public, there's no way to make it happen for them.
Right.
Because that thing is just absolutely.
And it said like 53-foot trailers and, yeah, and some food vendors as well, so that would take up a lot of our spots.
Well, they can put that over there on one of those.
Yeah.
They can put that down in one of the parking lots, or down by the outside. But, and 6 food trucks, but, and yeah, it's too bad because, I mean, that is such, it would be, and I don't think people would care if they saw that. You Google it, the world's largest bounce, the bounce
Well,
house.
who's to say we can't attempt to put one together ourselves?
Just not with that.
Not that, it wouldn't be called that, but you could do like a lighting.
What was cool about it too is they do everything. You don't have to do anything. They just show up and put it there and which is nice. And then they charge, we wouldn't have to do anything except, even though it would be open to the public, it'd also be, for our residents. And again, it's a huge wildfire. I said, we thought that the drop thing was just, I mean, we brought in 3,000 residents alone to have it for something like that. It is such a wow factor. So anyhow, unfortunately, our 2 fields aren't big enough, so, which is unfortunate, because that would have just been amazing. Okay, I have another one.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to pull up on my computer, but anyhow. Does anybody watch Rock the Block? Did you see the phenomenon?
Yeah.
Okay, so my thought is they had fireworks, but they also had drones. And the drones can say whatever you want. You know, could say happy 26, or happy 30th. It could be if a company in town, for example, somebody comes, wanted to sponsor it, they could put their name up there in lights. And they could go around, they could make if somebody like Disney wanted to sponsor it, they could put a Mickey Mouse, they could do anything, but it would be a happy anniversary, and somehow you can combine the two. when I saw that on Rock the Block, as soon as I saw that, I said, we need to do that in Celebration, because it is so stunning and so amazing, and it's becoming very common. I mean, they have it down at Lake Eola for this, that, and the other. But, you know, I think it really needs to be a sponsor, but if whoever the sponsor is could be, you know, could put their name up there in lights to do something like that for one of our events. It is a little bit expensive, but you can, and that's you can Google it yourself, but you guys Google it, drones, in Orlando. And it comes up and it shows all different levels. You know, you can do small, you can do medium, you can do large, you can do, and, you know, and it tells you where you can do it, like where the drones would have to be. Can you do it over water? If you can't, can you, you know, but anyhow, it's becoming more and more popular. And I just think that for us, it would be, again, one of those wow factors people would go home and say, I mean, they don't do the fireworks, well, they did on that show, but they don't have, you don't do necessarily the fireworks and the drones at the same time. You would do, like, for example, all of a sudden everybody waiting for the fireworks and you see this happy anniversary celebration. And people will like, because it's totally dark and all of a sudden that shows up and you just say, you know, oh my gosh, and then all of a sudden it goes into things like it could show a picture of the water tower. It could show a picture of iconic buildings, you know, it could, and then you see that, it's kind of like and for some, like the helicopter thing was a once in a lifetime that you'll ever see it, and here, that was a one and done, so.
Yeah, it's actually, when you brought that up, I had somebody reach out to me asking about that. It, just for 100 drones, it does cost 15 grand, and 100 is not a lot, that's not even enough to like put a logo on there. However, my only concern with bringing the drone shows here is they've actually gotten a kind of a bad rep only because of what happened at Lake Eola. And it also happened at Disney. It didn't hit somebody, but they fall out of the sky all the time, and it's just a really big liability on our end. But what if we do kind of in that sense, but not drones, but what if we did like some sort of like water pageant, you know, like at Disney where the thing goes around the lake, we could do like a 30th anniversary water show thing, I don't know.
Floating things.
Yeah.
Disney Studios.
So that's,
Well, just going back to that drone thing, the thing that why we could do it is the drones would be over the lake. They're not gonna be near people, you know? It would be in the back, it would be in the back. Well, but still, that would be in the back, far enough away from most people. And, you know, I mean, that happens, but people are doing it, you know, every night. So, but you're saying put float devices on the,
just
like,
like water, yeah.
Like the water, they do all the Run Disney races now too, because
on, in the water? No, you can't. You got 6-foot gators out there.
Well, so does Disney. There's nobody in them. There's no people in them. It's just like a light up thing, whether they put it on and somebody's there, like, it's like a remote control and it like parades around.
Yeah.
They do it at Give Kids the World Village too at Christmas and
Well,
all those.
that would be interesting too. I mean, I would say if somebody did reach out and they want to sponsor it, I think we should at least talk about it, because I was looking at ones that were more like $50,000. And so,
And
I mean, you have to make it something worth it.
Disney did them last summer. Gaylord has done them for several things, because I've been driven on Osceola Parkway, that building. It's like, oh, a bat, oh, spooky, oh, you know. But, I mean, they're cool. I mean, and the fact that they can just go dark and then produce something is quite amazing. But we also have to have big enough landing for all the drones for them to then
That's right.
go.
Well, Celebration is also big on the no drone, so if we're yelling at people to not use drones, no pull out drones, we would look kind of bad.
I've had a drone take pictures.
Yeah. But then you see it all over our site.
Then you see the
I'm
drone.
like, oh, I'm in that.
Are they really looking for that cat?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
But it's definitely, no, that is a good thought, that's definitely something to look, I can look into it further, just to get information regarding it if you'd like, and then we can
It's, again, it's, like Carla said, it's becoming more and more popular. I'm assuming it's becoming more and more safe. So, I mean, again, we have,
There's a guy in town.
Over
too,
a
that lives
year.
there And was involved in the.
I agree with what's now.
I don't know who he is, I know he lives in that place.
The boats are nice, but we've all seen
Because
those.
one of the guys I know that was.
I mean, some people have never seen them at all. I mean, haven't seen them at all, and won't see them between now and next year. But, I mean, it's something to, I think, at least look. I mean, if we're looking for something to, just be special, that we would only do non-can for another 10 years, I think it's something to, and then it also talks about, is it safe, blah, 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 and it gives you, goes down to the whole checklist of questions that you would have on cost, safety, landing, takeoff, location, so you can, I mean, we've been plenty of time, I'm saying to book it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily next week.
I'll look more into it as well and kind of get some
And if you
additional
get a
press.
better feel about the safety of it, and again, we have to figure out, like we said, location is,
There's gotta be a lot of regulations after that accident.
Yes.
This would be really great to do it out in our fields here. I don't think the highway right there.
Yeah.
And in the hospital too, or something.
but anyhow, I think it's worth a ponder and a wow factors to come up with something that.
I'll jump in a little bit if I can on it. Much like fireworks, it's doable in that location. The lake itself provides a great fallout area for it because, a lot of these things, like once they're made of printable parts, they themselves are not that expensive. So drone shows over water are kind of the safest place to do them. The space they would need, depending on the size of the show, our tennis courts would work great because what they really like is they put them out in a grid, right? So it's 1 meter by 1 meter for each one of these. The pictures that they use, most of them, like Verge Aero and companies like that, are you going to use software where they import the images. So we send them pictures of what we want it to say, and then they draw the outline, put it into their system, and make it. So it very much is, if you found a sponsor, it could be, I'm just naming names of large companies like Advent Health or someone else who would sponsor this, maybe go 75, 80, 20, 15 with us, whatever it is, so that they take the bulk of it. It can be sponsored by, do all of the naming, they can have the beginning and the end, yada, yada, yada. It is very doable in that space. Again, it's just going to be, it's very kind of cost prohibitive right now to do anything beyond kind of the basics. I think we could do a 200 to 300 show, like 200 to 300 drone show with the space in there. And it's going to be finding the company that realizes this has potential. They're going to want to do it in the area. As far as requirements, all these companies are going to have a drone license, which you need to operate drones within a certain, this and that and the other. It's very doable next to the parks because we're not technically broaching the no-fly zone or anything. So we'd have to worry about that. It's just, I think, finding the company that realizes that this may be something we want to do every 2-5 years, wants to develop the relationship with us and says, hey, look, we can at least do this as a demo, see if it works, do a smaller show, see if this location works so that we have more future work with you guys.
Perfect, thank you, Nate. Thank you very much. Okay, anybody else on the anniversary? Because, nothing? Anybody on discussion, member comments? Nate, we'll start with you. Do you have anything else you'd like to add to the meeting? Otherwise, we're gonna just go one by one if anybody has anything.
You bet. The only thing that I wanted to bring up from last meeting was about the festoons. I think the festoons are great. I think that they should be considered a capital purchase by the town. And I don't know if that would fall like under a capital improvement for Parks and Recreation, or if we just look at that as it fits into a couple of different places. It could even be technology, who knows? But I think that that's something to take to the board specifically of, hey, this is out of the scope of what we would do because it's a permanent installation. Also, I urge you guys to look at the product itself, make sure it's going to work for everybody, especially like live events. It's going to work for Parks and Rec at large. It's going to work for kind of anybody who uses it. The 11 wattage of the bulbs is split over red, green, and blue. So if you make them just red, you really only get to 4 to 5 watts out of it. So I think it's going to be one of those things where it's great at night at the end of the end of whatever we're doing. You can turn them all really white, and that's kind of the walkout look of the evening too. And then also we can keep them on, but at a muted color or intensity during whatever event we're doing. So it's still at a safe level. The other thing that I urge you guys to do is make sure that whatever controller that they would sell with this product is something that has ease of use. So anybody who has the knowledge or, you know, the code to get into it knows how to operate it, that it is very simple. We can turnkey the system with Parks and Rec and everybody else or whoever's going to use it. So they don't have to go through a complicated training to understand how to make the lights go blue or all white. That's the only extra one I had.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nate.
He's talking about the lighting, not
It sounds like you guys are taking this to the board, because it does sound like more of a capital expense than.
Yes, it's because it's finalized, I think that.
We still think that
we're just waiting on the design layout to come back.
I was also thinking if, you know, to think outside the box on them, not necessarily, so what if we didn't go with the light, I mean, we go with the lights above, but what if we went, and Nikki, I think you brought this up, maybe to put up lights around. So you have up lights, and there's some, I mean, it's gonna be hard to get them approved, but we could get, if you had up lights, but if also we had some bollard lights that went around, so you'd have bollard, up light, and overhead light, to do a combination.
Yeah, that's something we can look into. So you're saying the lights aren't going over Lakeside, it's another option to go around with the bollard lights as well as street lights?
So I'm just saying that if we thought outside the box of just not, I mean, definitely wants to get, if we can't do that, basically, to come up with another idea outside the box as far as,
Yeah.
like, for example, on those trees, that those trees would be lit, or the building would have some up lights on, or something like that. But just to, you know, like I said, not just to totally focus on those, if for some reason we can't get it to work the way we want it to. Like if we can't put a pole, we can't put poles in there and take them from one point to the other, one point, like we had at one time, we had the poles that went like that. Okay, what else? Anybody else? Carla, Deb, Andy.
I just wanted to ask, because I'm getting asked by a lot of neighbors in Island Village, what do we have planned for Celebration Point or Island Village this year as far as special events? I know there's something about a artist night maybe that was mentioned at one point, but we have zero going on over there, and it's literally like a ghost town.
We tried to put on a movie at the movie night, and we wanted to do that, and it was a great idea. We went over there, we saw it, said, so this would work. The only problem is there's no bathroom, so we wanted to we would bring in the bathrooms, the portables, and the residents said no. And then the other thing we talked about is we were going to do, as the final restaurant opened, we wanted to do a, what do we call it, street jam, or?
It was like, yeah, something like that, open mic night.
So Eugene, who's on our committee, he's in a band. And so we were gonna go and string some lights and have the band there, shut down the street in that little section. So people, and they could either come out and sell stuff, or, so we had wanted to do that, and then I heard that got stopped for one reason.
Oh, no, it didn't get stopped. We went out to do, to get the buy-in from everybody. That's what we had gone to do first, because everybody, if they said no, then what was the point type of thing, but everybody's very gung-ho about wanting to do it. So usually we have like another concert in the park towards the end of the year. So I was thinking if we wanted to, we could actually use that as our last concert in the park. It would be pretty affordable on our end because we would essentially get the entertainment from in town. And then the tacos can come out and sell, the scoops can come out and sell, even if the barbershop wanted to be included. And give coupons or anything like that, they can. It was a chance to kind of get that outreach to Island Village. So it's very much still on the radar, and we can absolutely do it.
And so that's the back.
For those of us.
So we would speak to Portland the Portland,
Yes.
for parking, to see if we can utilize the back of their lots, but it's nothing as different as going to Lakeside and not finding parking.
Yeah.
They're type, you know what I mean?
And
So-
our village elementary welcome, they welcome us to use that as well for things, for overflow or volunteers or setup and stuff. But as far as the bathrooms, and I've talked to Nikki and Allison about this, we have two bathrooms, of course. So does the coffee shop and the Mexican restaurant too. And just like at Lakeside, how Kilwins has a little sign out there by the water park and it says public restroom located inside of Kilwins and they have one bathroom. We could do that. We would stay open extended hours even.
But that's not near the.
Yeah, it's not near the park.
No, we would do this, so if you have been to the tacos, directly across the street, there's this really pretty like lanai. That's open and you go down the steps and you're closer to the water, but it's enough space to have something of this caliber in there. And we walked it as well to see, okay, under the awning, there's actually like perfect spots for them to sell food. Everybody already has the proper things that they need to sell off property because we've already spoken to them about it. So it's really just about us providing the equipment and kind of getting it set up.
So you could do a movie night there?
Yeah, I don't think it's big enough honestly for a movie night, but
What would it be?
Could we do a dive-in movie or anything like that with the pool? Like,
Yeah.
you know how they have the inflatable? Could we do something like that maybe?
we discussed that. It's that, but also.
To the entire town?
Well, but I mean, you gotta look at downtown, like, you can't even get in there at the farmer's market. Like, every time I try to go, I have to walk from my house, I'm a mile away from there. It's easier for me to walk or even take my nap.
We were gonna say, if we did it, you know what do you call that grassy area that has the trellises around it in Artisan Park?
It's not right across from your shop, is that?
No,
No,
it's between the shops and the clubhouse, what is that grassy area called with the trellises? It's all
By the
grass.
clubhouse? Is it by the clubhouse?
No,
No, it's down.
There's a park.
It's a
It's like in a.
Oh, it's because the bathrooms aren't close enough if we did it.
Right.
We can't bring in porta potties or anything?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
but the residents.
Yeah, the residents
Because we
were,
did it
because they
on-
don't want bathrooms in front of their.
Okay.
I mean, I don't wanna be a jerk. Everybody complains that there's no events in Island Village, but there's also no event in South Village, there's no event in North Village, there's no event in East Village, there's no event in Artisan Park.
But
So
they're not,
I,
we're a downtown though. We're just like
I
downtown.
want to do the same thing you have to do from where I live to go to the events.
Right, I'm
So
not.
I just don't understand why they're so.
Well, we have 800 new homes over there, and we have a Mexican restaurant, a coffee shop, we have us, like, we've spent all this money, and we get nothing, but downtown,
The goal,
we get none of that.
the goal is to start moving some stuff to get them to other villages as well. Because I know that they want to.
Do like North Village.
Well, see, but to jump back, is that one of the things that we said we were gonna do was on the final opening of the whatever in the little town there, that we were gonna do something that would, bring light to people coming out, trying the ice cream or whatever. But I said, whoever it was that told me this, said that we could, I said we were gonna do a street jam party with a band and lights, and put tables right on the street and close off the street. And they're going like, no, you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna close off the street. And I said, well, we can't, we have to close off the street, because that's where the thing, where's everybody gonna, how are you gonna see, 300, 400 people? You have to close the street, and I was told you can't close the street.
Well, I think there's a lot of new businesses and new people down there that don't feel that way now. Maybe we could revisit it and take a poll or do something.
This was an artisan market.
So
Yeah.
what we can do is even the Esplanade or whatnot, we still have to get through CCDD. So that's something that maybe Allison and I could talk to Angel and whatnot at CCDD, just to see if it's even a possibility.
Sure.
And once
Because
that
the
is-
other thing is that I would be very nervous about, if we're talking about safety, I think your idea that whatever that is down there, I remember seeing, I don't know how big it is, how many tables you can get there, but you could not, you would have to block off the street in order for them to get back and forth to the bathrooms. I wouldn't want to have that.
Or another
Yeah.
possibility is there's another like Esplanade by the Island Village Clubhouse that has like the little steps also by CCDD. We
Yeah.
can double check that area too.
There's a lot of parking behind the apartment community, and they're really wanting, now that they've had the crossover where they have the new owner, they're wanting to do community stuff and host it and spend money. Just like Madamie's wanting to do stuff too,
Yeah.
is what I'm hearing. But I think also like the Celebration Point people want to do it, you know, they want to be included in some stuff too, is what I'm hearing. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we're also working alongside with Canova to try to do that stuff too, because, the mention of like the water tower was also brought up to bring stuff out there. So there's not only just the safety stuff that we're currently working on to make sure we can safely do these things, but it's also like getting that buy-in. We know we have Island Village buy-in, but the water tower is hard to get a buy-in from, so we wanna make sure that it's fair, and we're doing our due diligence everywhere before we throw something on the table and then make everybody else over here upset over it too. So it's definitely not off the books. So what we can do next is I will go to CCDD, I'll speak with Angel and see what our options could be. Because I know if we did close that street, the safety of like, it's kind of almost like a one-way over there, like that's the main road and that's gonna be tough.
But the other thing
So.
is too, and I appreciate all that, and that's really good stuff, doing the due diligence, but at the end of the day, no matter what we do, you know, sort of going with what Carl is saying too, no matter what we do at the end of the day, it's important that, you know, we do it right, we do it safe, because it is a reflection of our committee. And this committee has to look at every single angle, every single thing, and, you know, so whatever we present, whatever we do, that it comes off as a success, you know? So that's important, that we make sure we keep that in mind. And so appreciate you guys doing that, the back stories.
I've been, you know, saying this since I've been on the committee, that we need to have some sort of shuttle for some of our events, especially in December downtown, because us residents don't go to the things that we're sponsoring because we can't get there. And like I've said many times, I'm not walking at night. There are critters out there that I don't know where they are, where they're hiding. So I might as well leave my, you know, I live in South Village, I might as well walk to Main Village, because where I need to park is I'm almost at my house.
Right.
Well, there's multiple things going on. Is there a way that you could talk with all the other entities and see if there's a way that people would come together on a shuttle first?
You know, you even said last year, he tried to go to the 4th of July thing, it took him an hour and he just turned around and went back home. You know, I mean, we need to be accessible for us and then worry about the other people.
Could be,
You know, even if you set up a time that, okay, we're gonna pick up in North Village at this time, we're gonna drop you off at this time so you can come for this amount of time. If that's what people wanna do, then they do it.
Does Windsor, I was thinking of them having the buses, did they ever do their buses to help with events or anything? Because they have 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah,
What's
so
in the public, so.
We did speak to them about that when we were trying to partner a little bit, but their bus drivers are actually volunteers.
Oh,
And they don't work past, I think, 5 o'clock. So none of their residents even, unless they drive themselves, none of them even attend our events at Windsor because the bus doesn't run.
okay.
So, because we were hoping that could be an option, but it's not.
Because I just feel bad that like, so many of us don't go to our own stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's just such a headache.
yeah, it's very good meeting. I thought we should be done sooner, but lots to talk about. And great meeting. Thank you, everybody. And thank you,
Thank
big
you.
team, for your lots of work.
Oh, yeah.
To adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Motion to
Yeah,
adjourn.
motion to.
Second.
Motion